Live from Columbia, this is Sports Talk on the South Carolina Radio Network. Be a part of tonight's show. Call us at 800-956-7266 or email talkback@sportstalksc.com. Now, here are your hosts for Sports Talk, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
We wanted someone who would infuse energy and optimism into the program, create a new momentum, and build upon the great foundation of Clemson baseball.
Just so excited. You know, it's a humbling experience for me to be a part of this program, to be the head coach, leading this program into the future, and just extremely excited and ready to hit the ground running.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome into Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network from downtown Main Street, Columbia, just 3 blocks from the State House, where it's been buzzing today, as you no doubt know, but doggone it, we're going to talk sports here on Sports Talk tonight as best we can because it was a big day at Clemson. I went up for the introductory press conference for Monty Lee as the Tigers' 27th baseball coach. He'll be joining us here on the program live at the bottom of the hour. We welcome K-Mac, Kevin McCrary, back from vacation. Professor Tom Hayes is off tonight. He's got some news-related duties that he is dealing with. As you might imagine, it's a very big news day here in South Carolina, and the pro is tied up with that. But K-Mac is back from vacation. Well, you missed a big week last week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening. That's always what happens when you go on vacation. A bunch of guys are going to start committing. That's what always happens when you go on vacation. I hate it. Trust me, I hate it too, because it forces me to delve into the world of recruiting, and then I have to.
Well, now you know that I come off the beach and I get you your recruiting information.
Then I have to talk to the kids, and I don't,
you actually have to pay attention to recruiting when that happens.
Yeah, keep an eye on things that are happening. And sometimes you're tied up sunbathing, and I have to actually write recruiting stories, and I feel dirty afterwards, but it's very nice to be back. I didn't go far. I was in the Low Country, Isle of Palms and Charleston, and had a nice week. It was a bizarre week, but it's great to be back.
Saw your tweet from the River Dogs game.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing. I wasn't sure all day. I'd planned on going well before anything happened Wednesday night, and they were tweeting that they were still going to do it, and they had caught the guy, and I felt better about it. And it was a packed house at the Joe, and just they did a great job putting on the game and really honoring everybody too. So it was a great thing to kind of, sports is one of those beautiful things that you can kind of bring everybody together and get your mind off of a bad thing and think about a good thing.
That's what we tried to do last week, into the week. And we'll move forward here on Sports Talk with more of the same. Take your phone calls here coming up. Lots to talk about. My heart breaks for Dustin Johnson. I mean, I'm happy for Jordan Spieth. It's exciting. We've got somebody now going to go to the British Open.
You're going to go ahead and call him a high caliber golfer now.
Remember, he's a high caliber golfer.
Pope, you remember? I mean, on the air was that one of our many feuds off the air where you weren't sure if you were going to declare him.
No, I did not.
Said, he's only won one major.
Well, I was saying, because you guys were jumping on Rory McIlroy, or let me rephrase that. The media had crowned Rory McIlroy as the next great golfer and was going to win all these majors. And I pointed out that he'd gone into a bit of a dry spell winning majors, as he didn't win another one this time or the time before.
He won 2 last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can hit that slump. Don't want to get into that. Now, what I was saying, again, using Rory McIlroy as my example of be careful how quickly you jump on a golfer and nominate him for idol status. I mean, Jordan Spieth certainly looks like a kid at the age of 21 who's got a chance to take golf by the tail and own it for years to come. And Rory McIlroy, I'm not disputing the fact that he's won 4 majors going back to 2011. But he's in a little bit of a slump in terms of his performance here of late. It can get away from you very quickly, is all I'm saying, to any golfer, as we've seen with injuries or things in your personal life, distractions, whatever the case may be. But I'd say Jordan Spieth certainly looks like a guy that's got a chance to string together a lot of major championships and a lot of other victories, because he still loves playing golf. He's going to play a lot of tournaments. He's not one of these guys that's only going to play every so often and then play in a major. It looks like he's going to be a grinder out there and try and play in as many tournaments as he can. But it breaks my heart for the way Dustin Johnson had a chance to either win or force a playoff today and just couldn't get it done.
Yeah,
couldn't get it done.
And I just had a bad feeling that was such a loose. It took him so long. He was looking at it, and then Day had to finish out. And
he could have.
He was indecisive. He's like, oh, whatever you think.
He could have gone ahead and putted, and Day would have had to have waited, and he could have done it a little faster. But I think I think it was good from the drama standpoint to let DJ have the scene all to himself.
I would have liked to seen him after Day putted him to line up and hit it. He went back down and walked down there again, and definitely that moment. And no one can blame him, but Spieth, the moment doesn't get him, and that's what separates it. But I will say this, I still believe Dustin Johnson is just too talented not to win a major championship. There's a reason why he's been in a position to lose these things.
You just wonder about his mental status on the course. Yeah, when he gets in these situations now, you can't help but have flashbacks when you've had these opportunities. I mean, he had the big lead at the U.S. Open a few years ago, lost that. He had the penalty at Whistling Straits that we're going back to here in August, few years ago, and then he had this meltdown on the 18th. So,
but Phil Mickelson had some meltdowns before he finally broke through. But DJ's had some meltdowns off the course, and I don't know that he's as mentally strong. Maybe he's going to get there, and this could be something that if he's able to bounce back from this and break through, I think he's a guy that could win multiple majors, and he has that kind of talent.
Sure,
multiple major talent. But this is the kind of thing that can also turn you into David Duval and screw you up. But I'm hoping that he turns it around.
It was I never liked the golf course from looking at it early in the week, and didn't really enjoy Fox's presentation of it. But the last 5 holes was as good as it gets. I mean, it was dramatic the way that Spieth, he got to 7 under. Looks like he was going to cruise home. Then he had the double bogey to bring him back. And I bet you the ratings were through the roof because it was in prime time, and every golfer in America was sitting at home watching that thing. And it was a tremendous finish. All right. A couple of other things, and we'll get to your phone calls, 800-956-7266. Our email, talkback@sportstalksc.com, and on Twitter @sportstalksc. Monty Lee introduced today as Clemson's coach officially, and the school released a few details on his contract. It's 5 years at $350,000 per year. Former coach Jack Leggett was being paid at $400,000 per year. Lee was working at the College of Charleston for $193,000 per year. So he did well. He improved himself financially, not getting as much as his predecessor, but then again, his predecessor had been there for 22 years and is in the Hall of Fame, and probably that's a good figure for Monty Lee to start at, $350,000 per year. He also said that he confirmed that Bradley LeCroy is staying on the staff as an assistant coach, and he's in the process of trying to hire a pitching coach. He hopes to have that done within the next couple of days, and he confirmed that Matt Williams, the pitching coach at UNC Wilmington, is one coach that he has talked to.
That makes sense. If he's confirming that, it's got to be pretty serious. And I'm glad that they kept Bradley LeCroy on that staff. And that's a pretty darn good recruiting tandem there with Bradley LeCroy and Monty Lee.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to recruit their tails off because the team they've got coming back for 2016 on paper right now, not counting the incoming freshman class, looks a little weak. They're going to have to count a lot on this incoming class and hope that these guys live up to the hype surrounding this class. It's a very highly thought of class. So they're going to have to play that way for Clemson to be competitive in Lee's first year. Sad story from Wofford today. Wofford announced that one of its basketball players, Jeremiah Tate, drowned early this morning in Lake Wiley. He was 19 years old. He was at the Charlotte area lake working as a camp counselor for a local YMCA. According to WCNC TV in Charlotte, Tate and a friend decided to jump into the lake from a bridge at about 2 a.m. Tate did not surface, and a couple of hours later, firefighters found his body and removed it from the lake. He had been a reserve for the Terriers in his 2 years on the team, and he played his high school ball at Lower Richland. He was an outstanding student. He was in pre-law at Wofford, a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So, unfortunately, another sad story here in our state that we have to report on. So sorry to hear that news. And let's see. What else? That's pretty much it for now. Let's jump to the phones. 800-956-7266 is our phone number. And Bob in West Columbia listening to us on our powerhouse, The Point, 1470 AM. That thing really booms out. Listen to it all the way to the upstate today. Hey, Bob, welcome into Sports Talk.
Yeah. Listen, you had some suspensions at Louisiana State Tigers. The Gamecocks got to play them. They suspended 4 players. Their starting quarterback, Anthony Jennings, and there's one of their starting defensive ends, Mardavius Bain. And LSU, let's see, comes here on October 10th.
I'm sure they'll be reinstated by then.
They'll be back by then. That's a month in.
There are 4. The other 2 that were suspended are not on their depth chart. I'm looking at Lindy's in the Sporting News.
What's their SEC opener? Their date for their SEC opener? Circle that date for the by when they'll be reinstated date.
They play McNeese State, and they're on September 12th. They're at Mississippi State.
There you go. Look for September September the 9th or 8th.
Okay, now Missouri Tigers had a female basketball player and one of their defensive tackles named Harold, did I get that right? Brantley, 6'3", 280, a junior.
Yeah.
He fractured ribs, he broke a leg, and he tore knee ligaments.
Car wreck, yeah.
Yeah, a car wreck. I got that off ATTYahoo.net.
Yeah.
So and the Gamecocks play them up in Columbia, Missouri on the 10th.
That's correct.
No, the third. Then they play LSU on October 10th.
Extra points for citing your sources, by the way. I like that.
Yeah, well,
everybody does that.
I always call Steakman and give him a hard time, but, I'm a converted Gamecock fan. I'm from Miami, Florida, so I love my Hurricanes, but I also love my Gamecocks. I've been up here for 14 years.
Who'd you pull for in the bowl game?
I can't wait. 75 days, and we're going to put a beating on Tar Heels up in Charlotte.
There you go.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your phone call. 800-956-7266 is our phone number. Yeah, I hate to hear that news about the young man at Missouri. Overcorrected, lost control of his car, went off the side of the road a little bit, overcorrected, hit a guardrail, and obviously suffered some serious injuries, but apparently not life-threatening, which is good. Speaking of North Carolina, it appears they're going to sacrifice the women's basketball program to try to satisfy the NCAA investigation. That's what folks up there are saying, that, of course, there's been 2 key players who transferred out, one coming to South Carolina, and they look at that and they see where Roy Williams has gotten a 2-year contract extension. Reading the tea leaves and between the lines there, what the writers up there are sensing is that the men's basketball program is not going to be touched, and the women's basketball program is about to get hammered by virtue of players being in those alleged classes. And we're back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network, 800-956-7266. Well, don't listen to me and trust my observation. The final round of the U.S. Open, played in prime time on the East Coast, delivered a 4.8 overnight Nielsen rating for Fox, perhaps a bit of a disappointment considering the closeness of Spieth's victory at Chambers Bay. The rating is 27% lower than the final round in 2012, the last time the final round aired in prime time, 40% lower than the prime time airing in 2008 when Tiger Woods was forced into a Monday playoff against Rocco Mediate. By comparison, the recent NBA Finals on ABC received a 15.8. The Stanley Cup final game 6 on NBC managed a 5.6. It was 45% higher than last year, which was 3.3, which was a record low. Wow. I thought it'd be much, much more than that. Back to the phones we go. And it is, sneak in here at the last moment of the half hour. Well, you know what? I'm going to skip it. I'm going to skip it out of respect for Charleston as we just welcome Jerome into Sports Talk.
I was hoping to run into Jerome when I was hanging around the Holy City last week.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't see him.
I didn't go to the penitentiary, though.
Oh, well, they don't have visiting
I'm
hours
just kidding, Jerome. I don't make that joke. I know you're not in the pen.
anymore.
If you arrest me, what you have in mind, big boy?
Jerome, how you doing, man? You holding it together down there?
Trying to. By the way, the Packers are on the Cowboys schedule, so you better be ready. Okay.
Well, I think you have not paid up your debt from last season.
I don't know what you're talking about, Phil Cornblue.
I know that my team beat your team fair and square, and we had about a $10,000 wager, as my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, I you know what my memory serves me correctly? You jumped off the Cleveland bandwagon onto the Golden State bandwagon halfway through the tournament. Thank you very much, Phil Cornblue.
Shocker.
Yeah, I think I did.
He just learned how to pronounce Steph Curry's name properly within the past few weeks. So,
Stephy Curry, by the way.
I did
Curry's
think
a heck of a player.
I did think Cleveland was going to win. I'll give you that. I mean, I wasn't rooting for either one. But I did think Cleveland was going to win. Based on,
you really thought they were going to win?
Yeah, I thought LeBron would
by himself.
I didn't realize the help was so bad. You know, I didn't realize he was so helpless. Yeah.
I need to ask you something before you hang up on me. Bonnie Lee is the baseball coach at Clemson. Are you kidding me?
Why is that a shock? Why is that a surprise to you?
Are you kidding me? He couldn't beat either one. He couldn't beat South Carolina or Clemson. How many times he beat South Carolina was at College Charleston?
He beat them.
Beat them once last year.
Yeah, he beat them.
Oh,
and he's
once.
Well, I mean, look,
it doesn't quite have the same resources as those two schools either. It's not like Charleston's expected to beat Clemson and South Carolina.
Monty's coming on shortly, so he'll be happy to explain to you why he's going to win and win big at Clemson.
How many games did Charleston win in the postseason compared to Clemson and South Carolina this year?
South Carolina didn't make it. Clemson didn't win any, and
so there you go.
Charleston did win one.
Two.
All right, we are back with you with Sports Talk South Carolina Radio Network on a Monday night. Appreciate you being with us wherever you are dialed in around the great state of South Carolina. Phil Kornblut and Kevin McCrary with you tonight. Big day up at Clemson. Had the pleasure of going back up there for the first time since, the Tigers and Gamecocks played baseball way back in early March, I guess it was. There for the official introduction of the Tigers' 27th baseball coach, but only the third in the last 60 years. We welcome Monty Lee to Sports Talk for the first time as the baseball coach of the Clemson Tigers. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Phil. How are you?
We're doing grand, and thank you so much for joining us. I know it's just been a crazy time for you. What's it been like, this whirlwind over the past 4 or 5 days as you've kind of gotten a handle on things?
It has been a whirlwind for me, but I can tell you this: it's been a lot of fun. It's been exciting. It's a new challenge with a fan base and a community and a school and a program that loves Clemson baseball and everything that Clemson is all about. So it's been a lot of fun. I've got to meet a ton of people. The people here are so friendly and helpful, and it's just been an incredible experience up to this point. It's something that, as you know, Phil, on your press conference day, it's one of those days you'll never forget. So it's a special day for me, and just ready to get on the road and go try to start signing some future Tigers.
Yeah, well, you're undefeated right now at Clemson, so that's always a good thing. Now, you have coached against Clemson. You've played up at Doug Kingsmore. You've recruited against that program over the years, and from afar, where you were sitting, both when you were at South Carolina, when you were at Charleston, what did you think of the Clemson program?
Well, the Clemson program is in the top 10 in NCAA history in wins, has also won more ACC championships in baseball than any program in the ACC. And when you follow, two men who are Hall of Fame coaches, and Bill Wilhelm and Jack Leggett, you get a chance to see what a full crowd at Doug Kingsmore Stadium is all about. It's as electric an atmosphere as there is in college baseball. So there's tradition here. There's a great fan base here. You've got tremendous facilities. It's a beautiful campus. I think you have all the things here that you would want to be successful. And we're going to embrace those high expectations that we have here in our ultimate quest to get to Omaha. So, I've had just great experiences here and can't wait to make this my home.
Obviously, expectations run very high there. And can you tell us, in your conversations with Dan Radakovich, you as a coach certainly know that Jack Leggett went to 20 tournaments in 22 years, yet even after going to the tournament, he loses his job. As a coach going into this situation, did you get an understanding from Radakovich as to what the realistic expectations are? And, I mean, what exactly does he expect from the baseball program?
Well, I think the expectations here at Clemson and Dan's vision is obviously that we feel like we have the facilities in place. We feel like we have a top-notch university from an academic standpoint. We feel like we have all the resources here to be successful and to play a high-level brand of baseball. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're going to embrace these players, Phil. I think the biggest thing that I want the players that are coming back and that are coming in, and even the former players, anytime there's transition, it's tough. But I want them to understand I'm going to do everything I can to embrace these players and make them my own and do the very best that I can to make sure they understand I've got their back and that I'm going to do everything I can to make them the best players and the best people that I possibly can. That's what I'm here for. I'm a relationships-based guy with my players. They mean more to me than anything, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure these guys are excited about this new chapter in Clemson baseball and that we're going to do everything we can day in, day out to develop them as players and people, and hopefully make a run to Omaha. That's what the expectations are. That's what the mindset's going to be, and I know that's my expectations. I believe that's Dan's expectations as well. And we're going to embrace that challenge and embrace those expectations and see what we can do.
Hey, Monty, it's K-Mac. How does your approach in terms of recruiting change at Clemson compared to the College of Charleston?
That's a great question. I don't think it changes that much. I don't think it changes quite as much. I think the only thing, the one difference is I think you can go nationally at Clemson. We're going to recruit the kids from South Carolina. My philosophy on that's never going to change. We're going to try to get the best and the brightest in the state of South Carolina first and foremost. But we're going to be able to branch out. When you talk to a kid from California or the Northeast or Texas or Florida or Ohio, Indiana, and you talk to them about Clemson, they know who Clemson is. You're going to be able to reach some kids in some different markets when it comes to players that maybe you couldn't tap into quite as easily as you could at the College of Charleston. But as far as the players, you're probably recruiting a little bit more of a finished product. A guy that that throws hard, throws strikes, and has 3 pitches. A guy that can hit, run, throw, and defend. Whereas maybe at the college you had to project a little bit and coach and develop that kid. But I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, the team at the College of Charleston, there's guys that could play for anybody in the country at the College of Charleston. That's we had a top 20 program the last 2 years, and there was a reason for that. We had some players that were high level players. So I don't think it's necessarily I think the big thing is we can recruit nationally here and get immediate responses.
Talking with Monty Lee, Clemson's new baseball coach. What about the junior college situation? You will not have the luxury quite as much at Clemson go out and recruit junior college players because of the academic situation for Clemson and junior college classes and things of that nature. How will that impact your recruiting, if at all?
I think any program, and you even look at us at Charleston the last couple of years. We didn't have that many JUCO guys. I like junior college players when you can fill holes. When you need an immediate impact position player that you lose to the draft, or if you need some arms in the spring, you realize that maybe you need another left-handed arm out of the bullpen, or you need to try to find maybe an extra starter. You're filling the gaps with a junior college player. I know, and I would prefer to fill our roster with high school kids and develop them from freshmen on up. But that doesn't mean that when we need to go get a kid at a Spartanburg Methodist who can fill a need for us, we're going to go get a JUCO guy as long as he can get in school here and academically it's a good fit for the young man and for us. Then we'll go out and get them. But we're going to go high school first, and then if we need to fill some gaps with some junior college guys, then we will, because the junior college kid brings a blue-collar aspect to your program that I think is vital. I think it's important. So we're not going to totally not recruit the junior college market, but we're going to try to build it with the high school guys first.
Any progress this afternoon since we left you towards hiring your pitching coach?
Honestly, what I've worked on this afternoon in that regard is really just kind of doing some checks on some guys, some references on some guys, some of the guys that I've already talked to, just kind of checking with different folks and getting their feelings about them. So I would say we're making progress, but we're not there yet. I'm hoping to be there. Hopefully I'm hoping by Thursday or Friday to make that decision. That's kind of my goal. I've got another guy or two that I want to meet with. I'm going to try to do that over the next couple of days. But I got a tournament in Greenville. I got to go watch some players from Thursday through the weekend, and I need to go see some players. So I'm hoping by Thursday or Friday this week I can make that decision.
Monty, can we hold on to you here for a couple more minutes?
Absolutely.
Thank you. We got to hit a quick break here, hard break on Sports Talk. We'll come back a couple more minutes with the new baseball coach at Clemson University, Monty Lee. Back in a moment. All right, we're back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network, visiting a couple more minutes with new Clemson baseball coach Mike Lee. You know, you look at your roster for your 2016 season, your returning guys. Of course, you'll work in the freshman class, which right now looks pretty good, and you may be able to add something more to it. But the returning group looks a little bit thin in some areas, especially the pitching staff. I know it's a while before you get down to working with these guys and get a closer look, but your current perception of what your 2016 club will look like and how you think you might fare in 2016. Do you have an early read on what you're inheriting here?
A little bit. You know, I haven't looked at it extremely in depth on the pitching end. I have a little bit more of a feel, you know, on the offensive end, simply because we do return, you know, some guys that did play. You know, I would say that on the position player end, if you look at us, depth was an issue. Just looking at the guys that statistically played and some of the guys that didn't, you know, we definitely need to try to create some more depth with our position players. And pitching-wise, we need to create some more depth. Obviously, we lost some really, really good arms, and we're going to have to find a way to replace those guys. Hopefully the returning guys, once we get our pitching coach in place, he'll be able to develop those guys and get some of those younger guys in the program better. And some of these incoming guys are going to be able to compete for innings. I think that's the beauty of all of it, is there's some spots that are going to be available on the pitching end and on the position player end, and we're going to try to create competition. That's the key for the fall. Try to create expectations, try to create competition in practice, and get the most out of these guys and see where they're at the end of the fall, because there are spots up for grab.
After sitting in the Gamecock dugout and going head-to-head against the Tigers and what I think we all would agree is the best rivalry in college baseball, what is it going to be like sitting in the Tigers dugout leading Clemson against South Carolina in that rivalry?
It's going to be very exciting. You know, listen, you know, Chad is a good friend of mine. He's somebody that I've known for quite some time, and we have a mutual respect for each other, and we talk on a regular basis. And heck, 3 of the guys in that dugout I worked with. One of them I coached, and the other 2 I worked with. So, you know, we have a mutual respect for each other. We also understand that we're going to get after each other when it comes to recruiting players. We know that we're going to get after each other when we play against each other. We know that the rivalry is one that the fans love. It's an intense rivalry on the field and in the stands and amongst those coaches. We're going to get after each other, but we're going to do it the right way and do it. And I think all of that is good. You know, that's what our state's all about. You know, it really is. When it comes to athletics, it's all about Clemson and South Carolina, and I get to be a part of that again, which is exciting. It really is. So I'm going to embrace that rivalry. Really am. I'm excited about the opportunity to be a part of what you just said, which is the greatest rivalry in all of college baseball.
Do you leave Omaha stitched in the caps?
Oh, man, I'll tell you this, guys, and this is something that is important to me. You know, I'm always open to change, but I'm a traditionalist. You know, I really am. I mean, I want to respect the tradition of the program. I haven't made any kind of decisions on that, but I like the traditional Clemson uniforms. I'll probably try to be as traditional as I can when it comes to the hats and the pants and the jersey tops and all that stuff. I like tradition, and I think that's what makes Clemson special. So I would say I would lean towards sticking with everything that we have already had in place that has been a part of our program over the years. But I'll look at it and have an open mind to it. But I am not a fashion coordinator, I can tell you that. So I hope we got somebody on staff that is, because if it were up to me, you know, we'd wear about 2 hats, 3 tops, and that's about it, because, you know, I'm pretty simple.
Do you know who your first game will be against?
I have not even looked at the schedule yet, to be honest with you, just because in the last 3 days I've been trying to work so hard on what I think really is my top priority, which is trying to talk to all the incoming players and returning players and all our commitments. That's the most important phase for me first, and trying to get my staff together, get this job done, of getting my staff in place so that we can get going in the right direction. I haven't begun really any of the administrative duties yet, simply because recruiting right now is at its peak. You know, we're in the heart of recruiting season where all these kids are playing, and we got to be out there evaluating, and we're playing a little bit of catch up, as you can imagine right now. But that's been my priority right now.
Monty, as always, we appreciate it. Congratulations to you once again. We look forward to a long and successful career for you at Clemson and many more visits on Sports Talk after many wins with the Tigers. Monty Lee, new coach at Clemson. Back in a moment. All right, thanks to Monty Lee once again for joining us here on Sports Talk. Recruiting now, and Mike Morgan coming up after the top of the hour break. Offensive lineman Landon Dickerson of Hudson, North Carolina, went to Auburn Saturday. Now has those Tigers in his top group with USC, Tennessee, and Virginia Tech. He said he really liked the overall feel of Auburn, felt like his hometown. In touch with USC and was at USC Showcase Camp recently. Enjoyed being there and working out for Sean Elliott, who he likes a lot as well. No rush for him into a commitment. It's going to take some official visits and go from there. USC lost out on an offensive line target over the weekend when Luke Elder committed to North Carolina. So the Gamecocks offered yesterday Lloyd Cushenberry, 6'3", 310 from Gizmer, Louisiana. He was at the Showcase Camp, wasn't offered then, but was offered by his recruiter, Joe Robinson, on Sunday. He calls it a big offer, his 14th, his first SEC offer. Joe Robinson is friends with one of his coaches. Coach sent a tape to USC. Sean Elliott reviewed it, signed off on it, and they saw him in camp and liked him as well. And he liked USC too. So he's got USC at the top of his list along with Louisiana Tech. He also has offers from Purdue, Tulane, Arkansas State, Colorado State, Southern Miss, and others. USC has offered defensive back Nigel Knott of Madison, Mississippi. That came out, his offers came out today. He visited Clemson in March, but the Tigers have not yet offered. Now, the Gamecocks have some work to do with him because he's already established a top 10 of Alabama, Oregon, Tennessee, Florida State, A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Louisville, Southern Cal, and Mississippi State. So they have some work to do to crack that list. USC target linebacker Jeremiah Moon of Hoover, Alabama, was offered by Florida. Offensive lineman Will Putnam of Harrisburg, North Carolina, went to North Carolina Saturday and is waiting to hear from them on an offer. He'll visit USC again before a decision. Virginia Tech is his third school. 2017 offensive lineman Eric Douglas of Charlotte was offered by NC State. USC and Clemson have offered. His teammate, offensive lineman TJ Moore, also offered by NC State. He has a USC and a North Carolina offer. In basketball, USC women offered 6-foot Sydney Zambrata of North Babylon, New York. You can imagine that she's a pretty highly recruited player. And in baseball, Monty Lee has picked up his first commitment at Clemson. He's left-hander Matt Clark. That's Matt with one T, 6 feet 160 from Hilton Head. He's a former College of Charleston commitment. Also had offers from Furman, Charleston Southern, and Liberty. Drew interest from Florida and USC. He has earned all-state honors each of the last 3 seasons. He was 6-3 last season with a 0.61 ERA. He struck out 104 in 57 innings. That's the 7th commitment for the class. 2015 signee catcher Cal Raleigh of Silva, North Carolina, who got his release after Jack Leggett was fired, told the Clemson Insider on Saturday he has no plans on re-signing with Clemson and is moving on. Top of the hour break. We'll be back.
Live from Columbia, this is Sports Talk on the South Carolina Radio Network. Be a part of tonight's show. Call us at 800-956-7266 or email talkback@sportstalksc.com. Now, here are your hosts for Sports Talk, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
Okay, we're back on Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. We jump right into our Braves reports. Can I get a little bit of Braves background sound? Ha, 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 ha. Brought by, played against Sports off Bowers Parkway in Columbia by Founders Federal Credit Union, helping South Carolinians attain their financial goals, and by Mattress by Appointment. Real simple. You call, you'll save 50 to 80%. Premium mattress sets. The number is 803-816-0577. We welcome Mike Morgan back to Sports Talk after a couple of days away from us. So this trade that came down yesterday, a lot of people in Phoenix are shaking their heads, scratching their heads, wondering what the heck Phoenix is, what the Diamondbacks are doing. What do you think? This is obviously very good for the Braves.
I think it is. I don't know how good it'll be in 2015, but I think down the road, the deal makes a lot of sense. First of all, what did they give up? They gave up, in my eyes, a career utility guy in Phil Gosselin, and I don't mean that as a knock. He's still good enough to hit major league pitching. That's a skill, but he's a guy that I don't see is going to be an impact player anytime soon. So what did they get? Well, they got a young man, the prospect in the minors, who was a first-round pick a year ago, who they thought they had graded out as a top 10 pick. They are in love with him. He's a 6'3" right-hander, throws hard. They love his poise. They love everything about him. And if you kind of look at all these deals, the one thing they have in common, the Braves are looking for good young arms, kind of that second wave since the days of Mike Minor, Brandon Beachy, Chris Medlin, et cetera, et cetera. That era has kind of come to a close, kind of a disappointing one. So now you're starting to see guys like Matt Whistler, who we saw on Friday night, Fulton-Evich, who's now back in AAA, but no doubt will be back up with the bigs. Shelby Miller is in his mid-20s. Julio Teheran, same deal. So they're just trying to add to what is already the youngest rotation in baseball. The Arroyo deal, to answer kind of part of your question, that's a salary dump by Arizona, and I don't think the Braves expect much out of him. He's hurt now. He's expected back in August. But at bare minimum, he's a veteran who can teach some of the young guys how to pitch and how to be a major league pitcher in general. And the Braves, because they've dumped so much salary the last 12 months, they could afford to take on a $10 million hit with Arroyo. So that's really the motivation from both sides.
Braves just continue to hang in there. You know, we see those moments when it looks like they're going to die. Then they rebound. They win. They sweep the Mets over the weekend. They're back at 500. Got the Nationals coming in. Mike, they're 2 games back of the Nationals. We've got about 20 seconds. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, but obviously huge series upcoming for them.
Yep, just real quick, Alex Wood will toe the rubber. And again, miraculously enough, the Braves are just 2 games behind the Nationals right now.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. They're just kind of hanging around there. You can't get rid of them, which is a credit to Freddie Gonzalez and that crew for staying together. Thank you, Mike, and we'll be right back. All right, got time for some calls. If you'd like to join us here on Sports Talk right now, 800-956-7266. Sound off about anything that you've heard tonight, anything we've talked about recently. Love to hear from you. We'll check out the Twitter feed. Our Twitterologist came back from vacation. I didn't dare delve into Twitter
and I
play-by-play while you were gone.
I did my best to really try to unplug, but it's hard to do, as you know. But
you're addicted.
I really did. I try to keep up with things a little bit, but last night, I was telling you, I didn't sleep much last night. When you come back from vacation, you're trying to go through everything, and I think part of it really might have been watching that U.S. Open. I felt so bad seeing somebody, not just because it was a local guy, but watching a guy lose like that was painful. And it was a break from Twitter. I'm sure people noticed.
You know, one thing coming out of the U.S. Open that dawned on me coming out of the U.S. Open, I've always, as a longtime golfer, I've always wanted to play golf like Tiger Woods. And I think I'm closer to that now than I've ever been in my career.
Yeah. That
3-wood that he topped on 18 on Thursday looked very familiar.
Seen that one
to a lot of us.
I've let go of a few clubs before too.
I still stand by what I've said for a long time about him, and I was happy to hear a couple of the analysts say the same thing. He's got to play more golf. He's just, he's got to get in tournaments and play and walk and get back into the swing and into the flow of playing tournament golf. This not playing and then showing up for majors is not going to get it done for him.
It's very strange.
He's got to have.
You knew it was.
He still has the talent. I mean, come on.
Well, he's older now.
He's 39.
Well, but you've got these young bucks out there like Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy, who I know is mired in a huge slump, but he hasn't won a major since last year.
You people, you're gonna laugh. Keep laughing. You're gonna call me the next time Rory wins a major.
Yeah, okay? Every time. That's great for Rory. He's probably feeling good. Every time Corn knocks a guy, he ends up doing something great.
Tiger has not lost the talent. Okay, he still has the talent. I think a lot of it has to be between the ears, the changing of the swing coaches so often. That can't be good either. No. He needs to go back to Butch Harmon or somebody early in his career.
To get Steve back on the bag.
Well,
look what happened. Steve goes to Adam Scott, and Scott wins a major. But every relationship that Tiger has on the golf course and off, it seems to end badly for him. And people, I feel it's hard to watch somebody that was that great, that dominant, just fall off the map like that. Jack got old. Arnie got old, Player got old, and you said, okay, they ride off into the sunset. Tiger, you still thought had some run in him, but I don't see it. I used to think he was going to win. Maybe he'll win Augusta one more time, and that would be a great moment for Tiger to win it one more time, but he is not going to win to catch Jack. We can go ahead and hit the road, Jack, on that talk. He's going to probably be remembered as much for this. His legacy is getting screwed up now. I mean, it's not like he just walked away.
He's a joke. He's a walking joke on the golf course. And, the golfers who are asked about him, I think it's all they can do to bite their tongue and not just sort of be snarky about it. Out of respect to his career to this point, they're still trying to talk about Tiger in reverent tones, but certainly they look at him and go, this guy is Tiger Woods?
Well, I sense sympathy. And when you hear a guy say, when did you think you'd hear a guy say, I hope he gets it together. I hope he finds his game and gets back on top. It used to be, I'm not afraid of Tiger. I'm going to go right after him. But nobody on this tour is afraid of Tiger Woods anymore. Nobody. The 15-year-old amateur beat him. I mean, that had to be a low moment for Tiger Woods. Some 15-year-old who qualified for the U.S. Open outplayed you in the opening round.
Of course, these guys aren't Tiger Woods, but I mean, you look at the bottom of the leaderboard on Thursday, you had Tiger down there. You had Lucas Glover, former Open champion. He was down there. Darren Clark, the Ryder Cup captain, a former major champion winner himself. He was down there. And Ricky Fowler, who just came off his biggest win a few weeks ago. Those are your 4 last place golfers. Yeah. So,
I mean, it can happen, but it's happening a lot for Tiger now.
All right, back to the phones we go. And we head over to Mark in Aiken, WKSX. Mark, good evening and welcome to Sports Talk.
Hi, Phil and K-Mac. How are you guys tonight?
We're terrific. Thank you.
Listen, just a comment or two. I do think Jordan, I think he is the next guy. I'm not looking for him to do it all this year or maybe next year. But I do think he is the face of the tour, and I do think he will take it to new heights. But I do have a comment about the Open. I've watched a lot of golf, played a lot of golf in my 40 years, and I have never seen something that looked so terrible of a golf course than what I saw this past week. I mean, if I were Mike Davis and the USGA, I would be ashamed and embarrassed that the nation as a whole had to look at something like that. I mean, I've seen golf courses that were shut down in better shape than that. And I mean, it was a farce that they had to play. Professional golfers had to play on something like that. You will not see Oakmont.
Well, yeah, that was a big thing. The green. It's one thing at the fairways. Even Pinehurst, they say brown is a new green, and they're not watering as much now on USGA courses. But the greens were, you couldn't see the hole. They look camouflaged.
You shouldn't hit a perfect golf shot and have it end up in a bunker. I mean, and too often you see some of those tee shots hit those fairways and just keep rolling, and hit one of those bunkers or one of those waste areas on the side of the fairway. You shouldn't be penalized for hitting a good golf shot like that. And too often that course was doing that.
Well, you wouldn't have seen, you think they would have learned something from Oakmont, from Olympic, a number of years ago in '98 when they had the controversy then. And I guarantee you one thing, you will not see Oakmont next year with the tradition that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Look anything like that, and I hope that Aaron Hills year after that takes a lesson from this and learns something, because Chambers Bay did not do themselves any favors if they want to host another one. It won't happen looking like that.
Well,
you guys have a great night.
Thank you. Coming up, we've got two more courses of similar make, in that they're links courses. Got a true links course coming up at St. Andrews. And then Whistling Straits up in Michigan for the PGA.
Don't ground your club in the waste bunkers.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, those are two treeless golf courses, just like this one, and very similar. Though I don't recall, Whistling Straits from the PGA the last time, 6 years ago or so. I don't remember it being, the fans. This is what caused the problem for Johnson, and that is the fans tracking through the course had matted down that area, and he didn't know it was a bunker area, and that's when he grounded his club.
Ask somebody.
But at least the course, as I recall, was beautiful and green, and you could see the difference between the greens and the fairways. This place, Chambers Bay, they had the whole thing seeded in fescue grass and differentiating between the green and the fairway. This is what Bill McDonald told us early in the week when we had him on from out there. He said, you're not going to be able to know where the fairway ends and the green begins.
Yes. Or roll past a hole to the top of the green and then roll back way. It's like playing at Frankie's Fun Park.
Putt. That's
that doesn't do anybody any good. The crowd, I think, was loud and lively. It seemed like Fox had everybody in the gallery mic'd up on every hole. I mean, you could hear individual conversations in the audience at certain times. That was the whole presentation of that thing was not good.
The first interview with Spieth after he's won the championship. What was the girl's name?
At least I thought you were going to call her Reporter Ed.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
What was the Reporter?
I don't remember her name, but when she asked him if he had enough clothes for, did you pack 5 outfits? And he looked at her like, no, but I think Under Armour would have taken care of me. How many balls did you have in your bag? But a fashion question, and Joe Buck, who's good.
Yeah. He was lost.
Yeah,
they were all
on the green.
But here's the thing: you can't do golf once a year and do it well. Okay, I mean, it's like I have people ask me about going and covering the Masters, and I covered the Masters a few times, earlier in my career here at the network. And I would love to go to the Masters, but I have no desire to cover it because we have the best guy in the world covering it in Don Williams. And he knows every inch of that course and every piece of in and out about playing Augusta National that I could never bring you because I'm not around it that much. And Fox, they did one other golf tournament this year, I believe, and then they do the Open, all right, the major championship, the national championship, and it showed in every aspect of their production and their announcing. And even with the commentators, you could tell that a lot of them did not know much about what was going on.
Even bring a fifth. Even bring a fifth outfit with you, in case.
No, I would have had to. I'm sure Under Armour would have done something about it. It would have been fine.
Will you even bring a fifth outfit with you, in case.
No, I would have had to. I'm sure Under Armour would have done something about it. It would have been fine.
Will you even bring a fifth outfit with you, in case.
No, I would have had to. I'm sure Under Armour would have done something about it. It would have been.
All right, we're back. Sports Talk, 800-956-7266. Email talkback@sportstalksc.com. The championships, do you realize if you're I say this every year at this time of the College World Series, if you're a media person covering Vanderbilt or Virginia, that you have been in Omaha now going on about you probably got out there Thursday a week ago because the tournament began on Saturday. They had a news conference on Friday. So you probably got there Thursday a week ago. So that's you've been out there about 11 days. You're heading towards about $2,000 in expenses by now.
Well, not if you go to the casino and you play roulette.
Then you're working on about $4,000 in expenses, unless you use the Mike Morgan miracle formula. I saw Mike one night at the roulette table over in
Council Bluffs
across the river. Yeah. I swear he won like 15 straight spins. It was incredible. He got on such
let me
a
guess,
hot
he
roll.
was looking at the board saying, "Oh, it rolled black the last 5 times. I got to roll red."
He thinks he has a formula.
There is no formula.
He thinks he has a formula.
There is no formula for roulette.
Hey, it worked for me too.
The odds are on the house, and each roll that board is put up for a reason for people to go, "Oh, it's been on red 6 straight times. I'm going to put $500 on black. It's got to hit black." Every roll, the odds are exactly the same for it to hit red or black. Every single roll.
In 2011, I went to the casino and sat down and played blackjack, $5 blackjack.
Yeah,
I think I won
big
like
baller over here.
10 in a row. I kept playing until I got up about $150. And then I left because my luggage never arrived, and I had to go to Walmart and buy clothes.
That's where you got your and one uniforms for the whole week.
I got a wife beater shirt.
His woo wear. Corn was rocking the woo wear.
Got some beautiful
Rosenblatt.
Got some beautiful shorts, some nice Bermudas. Yeah, but seriously, my luggage never arrived in Omaha in 2011.
And by the way, it's not out of the ordinary for Cornbleed to buy clothes at Walmart, so that wasn't
I'm not
tough
knocking
for you.
Walmart.
No,
I enjoy shopping at Walmart.
I'm sure you do. I mean,
offer a variety of sizes at
quality
quality
khakis you're wearing are spectacular.
Quality clothes at competitive prices that I seek. All right. Now, so anyway, you got the point of all this is to get to the fact that the championship series finally begins tonight, and it's Virginia and Vandy. You know, Vandy's had another very solid year. I mean, they've been good pretty much all year. Had a little bit of a slump there when they came to Columbia. They were coming off a little bit of a slump, as I remember. Came into Columbia and ended up losing that first game on a Thursday night, then won the last 2, if I remember. Kind of straightened things out. Virginia, they weren't, and you saw them in the ACC tournament. They weren't very good. They were very average this year, 15-15 in league play, and then quickly, well, they played 3 games of the ACC tournament, but didn't look good.
But they had a good team going into this season. They were ranked top 3, just scuffled a little bit. And that's how it works in college baseball. You get hot at the right time as I'm
looking for Vandy to go back-to-back. like the Gamecocks did in 2010, 2011. I'm looking for Vandy to go back-to-back. You?
I'll go out on a limb and go with the News.
Yeah. And we continue with some open lines here on Sports Talk on this Monday night. If you'd like to join us, 800-956-7266 and email talkback at sportstalksc.com. Don't forget to check out the website, which is sportstalksc.com. Sportstalksc Yeah, at Sports Talk SC for Twitter and sportstalksc.com for the website. There you go.
And corn breakdown on the air.
It's sad. It's sort of like watching Tigers game.
Right.
Yeah. On our website, our poll question of the week is, what's the expectation for Monty Lee's first season at Clemson? College World Series, Super Regional, NCAA Regional, a winning season, win the USC Series.
Well, he'll get the honeymoon period. If they don't do well, it'll be Jack Leggett's fault for leaving the cupboard bare. But
38% say right now the expectation is a winning season. 35% say NCAA Regional. Now, I can trace and see how many times Dan Radakovich he's voted.
Stuff in the box.
Super Regional, 14% are saying that. 7% say the College World Series, and 4% say win the USC Series. So, 38% want at least a winning season. See that as a reasonable expectation.
Well, they have a losing season. That'll be their first one since we looked this up, 1957.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
And I don't think the cupboards is bare. And again, the program had not fallen as far as people made it out. This is a team that still in 21 of the past 22 years has been in the postseason. Only 5 years removed from their last College World Series appearance, that program was not in the doldrums by any stretch of the imagination.
When you look at the lineup next year, and I've done this, they'll be very good at catcher, of course.
Stokey.
Yeah. First base is going to be a little bit of a guessing game there. Same thing at second base, unless they move Eli White over to a second base, which they can do. He's not expected to sign. He's been playing shortstop, of course. What's hurt them the last couple of years, especially on defense, I think, was the shoulder injury to Tyler Krieger. Tyler not being able to play shortstop every day, I think, really affected their infield defense quite a bit. Weston Wilson is back to play third base, and he's got to improve. He's got to improve his fielding. He can hit. He can hit with power. He hasn't hit with consistently with a high average, but he has shown flashes of being able to hit with power. But he's got to improve his defense. So got a couple of open spots there in the infield. The outfield, you've got Reed Roman back,
big time bat.
You've got Pender back, who I hear is going to play center field next season. Then they've got an opening. They've got a good recruiting class coming in. They got this kid named Jacob Beer. You're going to love this guy. Wow. Beer.
I'd like to have about 6 of him on my team.
Well, he is very good, K-Mac. He is actually a junior in high school, but he's going to graduate early and enroll in Clemson in January. So he's actually a 2016 guy coming in with the 2015 class. And you look at the 2015 class, it's a shame that they lose the catcher who was the Raleigh kid. Of course, they've got a very good catcher back for another year, but you lose him. They get Jake Higginbotham in, a left-hander who was drafted. He should be able to help right away on the mound from Buford, Georgia. You get Jackson Kowar in, a right-hander who was drafted. He's 6'4", 160. He's going to have a chance to play some right away. They've got a good-looking class coming in, so it remains to be seen. Once they get there, we'll see what they're able to do. But this is a class right now. I've got 11 players in their 2015 class, and 9 of them are pitchers. And of those 9, 8 of them are right-handers. So they've really loaded up on pitching in this class. The 2 position players I have in this class for them right now are Jordan Green, an infielder from Charlotte, and Grant Cox, a shortstop from Greenville.
They're going to be okay. I don't think Clemson baseball is going to be hitting rock bottom anytime soon. So on paper, South Carolina, we could do this with them, and we could have done this after we did do this after they won their first national championship. We started going through, they're losing Jackie Bradley Jr., they're losing Christian Walker. I mean, the list went on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Guys they lost on those 3 straight trips to the College World Series, and they still found a way to make those runs because there's other guys that you're not talking about now that have been riding the pine or playing high school ball somewhere, junior college ball, that are going to step in and make that kind of impact. So,
Seth Beer is the player I'm talking about, who is he would be in the 16 class, but he's graduating early, so he'll be in the 15 class, and he's going enroll at midterm and join the
team. Got a lot of hop in his bat?
I would think so. Really eats his Wheaties. Get it, wheat, beer? Yeah. Anyway, Seth Beer, 6'3", 195, big-time prospect out of Sewanee, Georgia, coming to Clemson. So he should help right away, too. Again, I think Monty and his staff's going to have their work cut out for them. It's not a case where the cupboard is completely bare, but you look at the pitching they're losing off of this year's team, and it's going to be a test for them to replace. But you get some of these young guys in, and some good arms will emerge, and they might just be a little bit of a surprise. So, except for the fact that expectations are always so high for Clemson baseball, what can you do to surprise people? The expectation is going to be to get to the NCAA tournament, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, Monty Lee will get one honeymoon year, and then they'll expect him to make a big run. Now, the Raleigh kid, Clemson doesn't have a shot to get back in the picture with him.
He informed me, he informed the Clemson Insider on Saturday that Clemson is out of it, that he signed with Clemson primarily because of of Jack Leggett. He wanted to play for Jack Leggett. Jack Leggett and his father are very good friends. Okay. And out of respect for that, for Jack Leggett and all, he's moving on from Clemson. I communicated with him myself, and
he actually responded. Today,
yes.
The other day, saw that. Yeah. No, today he sent another message to you.
Correct. I asked him yesterday about where things stand with him. He says, I'm still in the process of trying to figure out where I'm going to go. I want to take my time and make the right decision. And I asked him if South Carolina at all was a possibility, any contact. He said, I don't think so. So the Gamecocks have a big-time catcher coming in Christopher Cullen anyway. I don't know how he compares with Cal Raleigh, but Raleigh's supposed to be a very good player. But he's moving on, and Clemson is not going to be a factor for him. A couple of pieces of email into us here at our website and talkback at sportstalksc.com. And this is from Jeffrey, who says, in writing about Monty Lee, I'm sure you and the staff have read the Monty Lee introduction to the Clemson family. It was amazing, even the written word. I did not agree with the firing of Jack Leggett and especially how it happened, but if you're going to do it, it had better work and work well. As I see it now, D-Rad might have hit this nail on the head. Thanks, guys. That's from TJ, also known as Jeffrey. Well, we'll see. Anytime you change coaches, it's a roll of the dice, and if it works out, then everybody's going to be happy. If it doesn't, then people are going to say, see, you should have never made the move. You keep checking in with us. He wants to know who is the main competition for defensive end Tony Clayton out of Vienna, Georgia. Do you know who that is, K-Mac, the main competition for Tony Clayton?
No.
Out of Vienna, Georgia? You don't know.
Vienna sausage?
No. He is a big-time recruit. He's got offers from everywhere. Clemson's in strong shape with him. He visited there a couple of weeks ago. USC just offered him, but he's got many, many offers. And I think it's too soon to know for sure who the top competition is going to be because he really hasn't narrowed his list from all the offers. When I did talk to him most recently, he did have Florida, Georgia Southern, Tennessee, and Auburn along with Clemson at the top of his list. So I guess you could say that's probably where the main competition is going to come. And Yarkey wants to know, is it imperative that Clemson sign defensive linemen Rashad Gary and Lawrence and Pinckney? I'll address that on the other side of the break. And to finish answering Yarkey's letter, he asks, is it imperative that Clemson sign defensive linemen Gary, Pinckney, and Lawrence? And imperative, well, if they could sign all three of them, I'm sure they would take all three. They're very highly recruited players, all three of them. The Tigers, where they are in their recruiting class right now, starting to get to or just past the halfway point in terms of the number of players that they can have in this class. So they've got to be somewhat selective and make sure that they address all their needs as best they can. Now, of course, numbers can fluctuate and can change depending on who enters and leaves your program. Right now with 9 commitments, but really they got 11 guys coming in when you add Brian Dawkins Jr. and Amir Trapp, the 9 already committed. What they don't have in the class thus far is a defensive lineman commitment. So, yeah, I would imagine they'd want to take a couple more of those, probably a couple more of offensive linemen as well. They've got their quarterback. They've got their running back. Probably take, at least one more wide receiver. And, of course, they're eyeing the Overton kid from North Carolina. So, yeah, of those 3 you mentioned, they would take all 3 of them if they could get them. They would certainly take 2 of them if they could get them. All right, thank you for the email, Yarkey. K-Mac, what has been floating up and down the Sports Talk SC Twitter timeline?
The old Sports Talk Twitter feed. Mm-hmm. Let's take a peek at Sports Talk SC, where we're up to about 11,000 followers now.
How much does that put us to I don't know.
Justin Bieber, Kim
Madonna.
Kardashian.
How about Madonna?
I think she's got us by a few.
Okay.
Vincent Hall Driggers says, don't touch him, in response to Monty Lee saying that he likes the traditional Clemson uniforms.
Right.
Somebody else asked, but will he remove Omaha from the hats? That's the real question. And you asked that very question.
Sounds like he's not going to touch anything, at least this year.
Kevin says some things are of higher authority than head coach. Unis better stay same or he won't be here long. Ooh, already the first threat. Lord. The first threat for Monty Lee since taking over the program. But that got a lot of people asking or talking about Clemson. And then, of course, a lot of people retweeting the various sports figures from the Carolinas today that have come out to support taking down the Confederate flag. Ray Tanner really got the ball rolling. He was the first one, and then
actually it was the university president.
Pastides. Yeah, I guess you better wait till your boss does it,
right?
And then you can do it. And then Ray Tanner did it. Frank Martin did it as well. Dan Radakovich, Clemson AD, did it shortly after Barker did it at the Clemson Prez. Carolina Panthers owner Jerry Richardson, who's not on Twitter, he just announced that the Panthers support taking down the flag. Steve Spurrier has been quiet, but he's probably on a golf course somewhere.
On a boat. He might be on a boat somewhere.
He goes to the Bahamas.
He's already on record.
Year.
He's on record.
Yeah, 7 years ago, he was on the record in 2007 and got in some hot water. Then, that shows you how things have changed in just 5, 6, 7 years. But around 4:00 this afternoon, and it looks like, Corn, based on everything that you're hearing and I'm hearing and that's out there now, that this is going to happen. And the Charleston Post and Courier is actually doing a live updated poll, if you will, asking the lawmakers, and the yeses are way ahead of the no's in the Senate and in the House right now on taking down the Confederate.
Well,
put it in a memorial, in a museum, and I'm sure the Confederate memorial will stand, the statue. So it's just the flag.
Let's take the bulldozer out there.
Good luck.
Did you know? I didn't know this until I was talking with someone today who was who be in the know that the original compromise on that deal called for the flag to be placed on the other side of the ground over by the Wade Hampton building. I never knew that. I never knew that that's where it was supposed to go. But from what I'm told, after the compromise was agreed to and it was determined that's where it was going to go, somehow it ended up over by the Confederate Memorial over on Main
Street.
Street.
Can still fly it in your yard if that's what you want to do. Put the bumper sticker on your car, wear the shirt. And from a sports standpoint also, what this means is NCAA men's basketball regional can return to Greenville, Charleston, Columbia. That's an opportunity. The ACC baseball tournament, which was going to be in Myrtle Beach, could perhaps return to Myrtle Beach. It's going to open a lot of doors and just take that off the table. It's not going to solve all the race issues in the world, but it'll take that off the sports table at least.
Got some big NBA news coming out of Charlotte. Big NBA news coming out of Charlotte.
I know. I'm not going to spoil it.
No, Michael Jordan is not coming out of retirement, but we'll tell you what's happening in a moment. Now, we don't know when the NBA playoffs might be returning to Charlotte, but according to WSOC television in Charlotte, Charlotte will host the 2017 NBA All-Star Game, citing a source. Formal announcement expected tomorrow. And NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said at a press conference during a previous visit to Charlotte a while back that Charlotte had a great chance of getting the All-Star Game. They did a bunch of work on their Time Warner Cable, spent about $40 million to renovate that. All-Star Game in New Orleans in 2014, the story says, brought in $106 million in revenue. So, first NBA All-Star Game in Charlotte since the city hosted the 1991 event at the old Charlotte Coliseum. So there you go. Put that on your calendars for February of 2017, the NBA All-Star Game at a time when the Celtics will probably be coming off their 18th NBA championship in 2016 and looking to go 2 in a row.
So next year, you're saying the Celtics are going to win?
Yeah, I think we got a real good shot.
Well, good luck.
I believe in Isaiah and the rest of the crowd now. I'm excited about it. Excited about it.
Thomas.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Well, you know what? Last week was incredibly busy in sports, not to overlook everything else, but with John McKissick retiring and Monty Lee getting hired, it was an incredibly busy week, kind of spilled over to the day, but I think that almost officially we're ready to hit the summer doldrums for a couple of weeks. Rest of this week and the next 2 weeks after that when you'll be here and I'll be gone. And then we're 3 weeks away from today. 3 weeks from today, SEC Media Days begins in Hoover, Alabama. The Gamecocks will be in on Tuesday of that week, second day, Tuesday morning. And, of course, we'll be there to cover all 4 days of SEC Media Days, where whenever ESPN allows us to go in and do something, you know, they pretty much own everything around the SEC these days. But I will say that they do allow the media to do their thing and stay out of the way. As long as we stay out of their shots and out their sets, everybody's happy. So we got that coming up, followed by ACC Media Days, and also that same week, it's a Dabo Swinney Golf Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be up there for that once again. While I'm at the SEC Media Days, it'll be our first chance to talk to Dabo this summer and next. So look forward to that. And we'll delve into some other things here over the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to have Dawn Staley with us sometime this week. The millionaire coach. How about that? Who would have ever thought a women's basketball coach in college here in this state would make $1 million a year?
A lot of significance to her getting that contract.
Yeah, that's tremendous. All right. Final thoughts, K-Mac?
And I'm, believe it or not, excited about the NBA draft coming up this week. I've been Googling Lakers rumors.
You got an early pick.
Early pick.
Don't blow it like you have in the past.
Lakers have not blown many draft picks in the past.
That'll do it. Thank you, State Man. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.